Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. A defiant Dr. Gilberta St. of St. Lucia indicates her interest in paying the $10,000 fine with monopoly money. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 22nd December 2021. Details when we return.
Conveniently located in the Grand Anse Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grand Anse will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Welcome back. St. Lucia's Medical and Dental Council fined and suspended Dr. Gilberta St. for prescribing ivermectin, an unauthorized drug for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. She remains defiant. Riani Isidore of NBC Prime reports.
Now in St. Lucia, penalized for promoting and issuing unauthorized ivermectin prescriptions to her patients, a defiant Dr. Gilberta St. is showing no signs of slowing down. Dr. St. offered to pay the $10,000 EC fine imposed by the Medical and Dental Council using monopoly money. We get the details from NBC Prime.
On November 24th, the Medical and Dental Council formally notified and fined Dr. Gilberta St. $10,000 for conducting an unapproved and unmonitored clinical trial using the anti-parasite drug ivermectin to treat COVID-19 in her patients. Dr. St. was issued a 30-day deadline by the Medical and Dental Council to settle the fine. The embattled ivermectin advocate has offered to pay up well before the December 24th deadline, except the currency she intends to use probably isn't legal tender, at least not in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union.
Medical and Dental Council of St. Lucia are playing games with me.
Right, yeah.
The Medical and Dental Council are playing games with me. So here that's $10,000 fine.
Yes.
I will open this box and see how much money is in there to pay that fine of $10,000.
I must take a picture of
Yeah,
that.
let's see how much is in there. You know, monopoly money, because this is a game. The folks are playing a game with me. Medical and Dental Council, your money is coming. $10,000.
Yeah.
The Barbados Nurses Association has called on striking nurses to return to work.
BNA President Valerie Francis Miller made the call following today's talks with the Ministry of Public Service and health officials, which she described as cordial and productive.
Were matters that were being raised by nurses for quite some time over the years, and we have made some strides in which we have achieved some short-term things, we have some medium-term things, and some long-term things to achieve. And we have made some strides. So I believe that these are things that they have been asking for too as well. And today we were able to achieve some of these things. So I believe, and I would like to ask them to return and let us come and negotiate with these entities so that we can push nursing forward.
When pressed by reporters to address the Allegations by the Unity Workers Union that government was engaging in divide and rule tactics. Bosses said he is willing to meet with the union once they have followed the correct protocols to convene a meeting.
When the whole question of the safe zones was taken to cabinet by myself, and I was given a mandate to go and to have meetings with the unions, I invited every single union to the meeting the evening, including Unity. And we met with those unions that attended the meeting that turned up. So I don't think that is, I will not answer that one because there's no divide and rule here. Far from divide and rule, we are seeking to bring all parties to the table so that we can arrive at some solutions that would be beneficial for the persons in this country who seek nursing care.
2022 is projected to bring continued boost in tourist arrivals to Antigua and Barbuda.
Chief Executive Officer of the Antigua-Barbuda Tourism Authority, Colin James, says following a strong 2021, the tourism sector's rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic will continue in 2022. Leading the charge are air arrivals. 2021 saw inaugural flights from the country's primary source markets in the US, UK, and the wider Caribbean region. WestJet, operating out of Canada, also resumed flights in November for the first time since the start of the pandemic.
Every airlift that comes back to this destination, that comes back to our airport, means more opportunities and choice for people to travel and to move, and helps in the recovery effort, particularly for regional travel, which is really coming back strongly.
Also on the horizon is a significant boost in arrivals through the cruise sector. The summer cruise season, he adds, is also projected to be one of the strongest the country has ever seen.
The Caribbean is the world's leading cruise destination. I'd say 35% of all the people who cruise come to this part of the world. So we have a good product, we have strong infrastructure, and we have people that care about the industry.
On Saturday, 5 cruise vessels docked in St. John's Harbour, a first for the country. James believes that level of activity will become more commonplace, particularly as the country heads into the peak months for the sector, mainly January and February. Looming over the recovery of the sector, however, is the 5th variant of concern, the Omicron variant. James remains confident the rebound will continue.
People have been locked down for so long that they are going to go on their vacation. They've made their bookings, and the bookings are holding up, they're strong. We haven't seen any indication yet of any mass falling off of bookings. But again, this pandemic has proved to be so unreliable, and it's all virgin territory for a lot of folks.
Omicron has so far been detected in 89 countries. Rakib Aparicio reporting for ABS News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
November recorded a sharp increase in the number of daily COVID-19 cases in Trinidad and Tobago, but December is the worst month to date in terms of new infections. At this time, there is no evidence to support cluster or community spread of the new variant, but health officials are concerned about having to battle Delta and Omicron simultaneously. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News tells us more.
Based on data presented by epidemiologist Dr. Avery Hines, the month of December is now the highest in terms of the weekly and monthly totals for new positive COVID-19 infections.
The December total has now reached and actually surpassed the total for November, and December is not yet finished. So whereas for November, we would have seen that there were about 14,000 plus, let's see exactly how many, 14,032 cases as at the end of November. As at the 19th of December, there were 14,061 and still going.
And Dr. Hines warns that this could be worse with the Omicron variant.
We just want to express the concern that with the potential for the introduction of the Omicron variant, instead of going downwards, this can actually take an even steeper upward turn. So again, the need for having your vaccinations on board and adhering to the public health regulations becomes even more serious.
Over the weekend, 2 additional cases of Omicron were detected, bringing the total in TNT to date to 5. While 4 cases have been linked to travel, one of the patients had no travel history or known contact with a COVID-positive patient.
Now, that would suggest that they're not sure where they picked up this particular infection, and there may be other individuals. But at this point, we can't yet confidently state that there is established community transmission, but we will be continuing to look out because, as we know, the potential for that particular variant to spread very quickly is very high.
The more populated geographical areas continue to record larger numbers, with increases being noted in most counties. Health officials continue to plead with the public to take the virus seriously.
Start the vaccination process if you are not vaccinated. And if you are already vaccinated and it's your turn to get boosted, get boosted. And if we do that, we can avoid the potential catastrophe that awaits us, that is already hitting many parts of Europe and many parts of the United States.
And in many of those instances, Minister St notes that their health systems are being challenged. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
Over in Guyana, Aubrey Norton has been elected political leader of the People's National Congress Reform with a promise to make the party a grassroots party and a party for all. Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana reports.
Overwhelmed with emotions and being elected as the new leader of the People's National Congress Reform, Aubrey Norton has promised to not only take the party back to the grassroots, but to ensure the representation of all the people of Guyana from all ethnicities.
I want to promise you that I will make this party a grassroots party. A party for all Guyanese, of all ethnic groups. It is the kind of party we desire. I want to work with this executive to transform this party into a permanent election campaign machinery. I must submit to you. This is the first time in a long time I've been overwhelmed. And I believe the party has put trust in me, and I hope to deliver on it.
The new PNC leader also announced that in keeping with the party's constitution, he has asked former Chairman Valder Lawrence and longtime member Dr. Richard Van West Charles to serve as advisors to the party. He said both have accepted. Mr. Norton also stated that he will be working along with the current opposition leader Joe Harmon on issues related to moving the party forward and developing it. Norton won the race for PNC leader by a landslide, winning 13 of the 14 voting districts at the elections and amassing a total of 967 votes. His closest rival for the position of leader was Joe Harmon, who was far behind with 245 votes. The new PNC leader said he intends to govern the party with all of its members, including those who competed against him at the elections. He said the elections are over and the party with a united membership must move forward.
I promise inclusive governance. We will govern this party together. We will work together. I do not want to hear in our party that somebody was against Norton and so that person is excluded. This is our party, the elections are over, and we must move forward.
And Norton also said as the party begins its new course under new leadership, it will confront the struggles already facing it.
We have to carry the political struggle. Our first struggle will be for a new voters list. We cannot go to an election without a new voters list. It has been the basis on which a government was installed, and we have to uninstall them, and that process must begin with a new voters list. We will oppose vigorously the gerrymandering of the electoral boundaries. We will not allow them to change the boundaries in Region 4.
The new PNC leader said the party will be fighting against any attempt by the government to change the boundaries of Region 4 for election purposes. He also made it clear that the party will continue to make its opposition known against the decision by the Elections Commission to hire Vishnu Prasad as the new chief election officer. Norton said Prasad was not the most qualified or experienced of the candidates who applied for that job.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.